Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. We are just about to get started with another Summit der Langrisser match. This time it's another top 16 match between Moondoggy and WindSeeker. And the players are just getting ready. Actually, it looks like they are ready right now, so let's hop in, get started with Pick and Ban. Both players very busy. I think Moon had to get back from the beach or go to the beach, and WindSeeker was just feeding his kid. So they found a very sliver of time that they could both play together, and here we are. So we're loading in right away into Hidden Gorge, Moondoggy as player 1. Both players banning AO first. Moondoggy taking this opportunity to first pick Oboro. First thing that jumps out at me here is that we do have a kind of tank and healer heavy box on Moondoggy's side. He's got Liana here, Elma, and Lugner. He also has Ricky, so it looks like he's going to be trying to play very defensively. WindSeeker, though, picks up a good first pick against that kind of strategy with an Oboro of his own. And kind of a similar box, just a bit less turtley. He has a bit more of the standard meta DPS in there as well. So Moondoggy goes ahead and locks up his tank. Still lots of healer options. It'd be very interesting to see Ricky in play here. I wonder how he can support this kind of team. Okay, so WindSeeker second picking another typical anti-tank pick with Grenshiel, who can kind of turn off tanking. Harder to employ that against double tank though, so we'll see if Moondoggy later on in the pick order wants to get that Lightbringer if it's still available to him. Definitely one of these slots is going to be healer though, and then Moon is probably going to want to pick another DPS somewhere in there. But hopefully a Ricky. Hey Dreadful Cobra, welcome to the chat. Alright, excellent. There's that Ricky, third pick. Very interested to see what a well-built Ricky does in this kind of comp. If it's able to really help slow down and put the brakes on WindSeeker's team. If Moon plays too slow though, he is going to have to deal with a fully charged up Oboro, because he's not likely to get in and shut down that Oboro before it gets ready. So I guess we'll see what kind of team WindSeeker still has around that Oboro to support it when he's ready to come in. Okay, WindSeeker does get the Liana, which is kind of like a pseudo faction buff for Oboro. She can just act against him early on while he's transforming. Speeds up his transformation time a little bit. But WindSeeker doesn't need to be in a huge rush here. Alright, and he locks down his healer fourth. So it looks like, yeah, perfect opportunity for WindSeeker to ban out the only remaining DPS, which means Moondog is going to have to go with either another healer or another tank. Picks up the Lightbringer, who can pretty much pull her own weight in terms of damage, especially late game if she needs to. And WindSeeker bringing his remaining DPS in Leon. Even though Leon might have a hard time busting through the Hilda on his own, I mean, he does have a lot of support here. Gintoki's always dangerous to tanks. And Leon can still do, you know, some other dirty tricks. So it'll be interesting to see just how passively Moondoggy plays this. I mean, he doesn't really have a choice. His only true DPS, well, I guess Oboro's a true DPS. But we know he's going to be spending a few turns charging up. So other than Oboro, he's got Ricky, who is pretty much as close to a defensive DPS as you can get. Alright, so we're going to spend a few seconds here while these players both choose their positioning, choose their skills, choose their soldiers. We don't know yet if this is a Horse or Lance or Hilda, which could make a difference for Leon and Gintoki damage. WindSeeker with no real tank and just the Liana for healing. So he's not going to be hoping to have a protracted battle against Moondoggy in the middle. Basically, if his DPS aren't able to cut through Moondoggy's defenses, then Moondoggy could pretty much wear him down. So WindSeeker is going to hope that he's able to get his Oboro into the action and start killing off Moondoggy's important units. Namely, this Oboro has to go. It's an Iron Helmet Oboro. Which is interesting, because that's just damage reduction versus ranged attacks. I guess that's for the benefit of being against the enemy's Oboro. Because Gintoki's not going to range attack that. She's not going to range attack it. She's going to be... I guess maybe if she shuts down both tanks, she could air slash the Oboro, but I don't see Moondoggy letting both those tanks get shut down. Okay, so we do have the 3C here on Leon, as well as Duelists. The new skin on the Oboro. Alright, and we do have a Sky Archer here on Liana to help enable the Gintoki as well. So that's basically a free Act Again, possibly setting up a double Act Again turn for WindSeeker when he wants to unload his damage. Okay, so Hilda brought Phalanx. Ricky with Sand Seas. I'm remaining impartial between these two players, but I do really want to see Ricky pull off some spectacular Rickitude. Everything else looking pretty standard for both sides. So, the onus is going to be on WindSeeker to close the gap and get in on Moondoggy. Moondoggy is going to look down, or is going to look to really hold down the fort until he can get his Oboro in action. And even then, he's got such a defensive team. His approach after that Oboro activates is going to be to have this Oboro basically pick off the rest of WindSeeker's team from the safety of guard. No reason to go adventuring. Freed's in the chat, rooting for the main chord Homer. How's the stream sound, Freed? If enemy Oboro kills him first, yes, you're right, that's a problem. He's hoping that that this is going to be a difficult thing to kill. Like, he's stacking up buffs on it. He's on a forest, which is great for Oboro's defenses. He's also got this Iron Helmet, which is RNG damage reduction, which could help save him. He's also going to get a little bit of protection from the Ricky. He's also going to have some anti-crit protection from Hilda. So Moondoggy definitely has all of his eggs in this basket. And even then, if that Oboro dies, his hope is really just to hang out in the middle and gradually wear away at WindSeeker's team, hoping that he's not going to be able to catch up or keep up with the healing. Nice Balance Blade Hilda there. Yeah, enemy Oboro should get to go first, because this Oboro has no buffs, so he's going to be... Although, I guess on the other hand, Moon doesn't need his Oboro all the way up to 4 stacks either, because WindSeeker doesn't have a tank. So he can settle for 3 stacks, and WindSeeker can get his 3 stacks via Act Again. Yeah, Shadowed Light, I agree. It's nice to see units like Ricky. I wouldn't necessarily say this is like his time in Apex, because I think there's only really like 2 people who are using him in any real sense. And I'm not sure if Moondoggy had him like main boxed for ladder, or if this is just something he put together for the tournament. Haven't seen many Moon games from the main Apex ladder. I really have not kept up with what Ricky does. So reduced crit chance in his direction. Okay, he's got a single target attack here. Oh, that's pretty strong, actually. So yeah, Ricky will be able to pull his own weight DPS-wise. Yeah, and WindSeeker is going to try to position aggressively. He knows he wants to get into the action. In fact, his Oboro may be something of a backup plan. He doesn't necessarily need to unload with Gin and Gren, Leon, and Oboro all at the same time. So WindSeeker definitely going to want all 4 stacks on his Oboro, but he can speed them up by 1 turn. Nonsense Bearer knows where it's at, saving up for Lena. Saving up all this time for Lena. I bet he means it when he says it, too. Well, you know, if you're lucky, you may get a bunch of off-banner Rickies while you're trying to summon for the Slayers characters. I've been hearing that a lot. There are a lot of old school Slayers fans who... I mean, it's really nice when a crossover can do that, like connect with the actual fan base. For me, I've been joking for the past 5 years of this game's existence. Whenever people talk about crossovers, I always, like, tongue-in-cheek, jokingly say, wake me up when they bring a Guyver collab. That's when I'll actually be excited about a collab. Because I figured Guyver is one of those properties that's just like so weird and out of left field and obscure that there's no way that they would ever actually come out with a Guyver collab. And then, of course, during the 5th anniversary stream, they said the next one they're working on getting is Guyver. So that's ridiculous, but to me also hilarious because I've been joking about it for years. So much like you with Slayers, and all the people who are pumped about, you know, finally summoning some Slayers characters. Like, I doubt Guyver is going to bring a bunch of, like, new players to the game, but for me, it'll be very satisfying to be able to play as Guyver characters. I really hope that actually happens. Yeah, it's such a weird, like, it's actually kind of a dumb anime. I haven't read any of the manga, so I don't know. I know it's been running for years and years and years. Maybe it's better. I have a feeling it's probably, anytime a manga runs that long, like, it's like... Okay, interesting. We have a Grenshiel play already here, and he's gonna try to take out the Ricky right away. Not getting through that Ricky, he's too much of a bulky boy. Currently, Hilda's not guarding. So the only targets with Hilda's guard turned off would have been Ricky or Elma, and she could only reach Elma with Air Slash, which probably wouldn't do anything through Shrine Maidens. Alright, but he is able to kind of come through with the combo here. So Grenshiel to pop some damage on there. Oh, Ricky doing a bunch of return damage to this Gintoki, but it looks like it's not going to matter. Gin is able to finish that Ricky off. So WindSeeker with the smart strat, knowing he was going to dump an absolute shitload of DPS on that Ricky to kill it. But kill it he did. So he's still got a Leon up his sleeve. This act again is going to work because Grenshield's Grenshield took away this Hilda Balance Blade tile. So he's going to be able to act again here. And potentially... I mean, he can't reach Elma. He should really, I guess, just hit something. Let the Lightbringer guard it. She doesn't have the tankiest troops. And then... Oh, he overwrote the guard tile, so he did hit into Hilda. That's still fine. He did more than what I was expecting, taking her first life there. And he'll be able to get a little bit of a scramble here. Not a terrible scramble, but not a great one. Oboro is still protected by Hilda, even though Hilda only has one life left. Moondoggy brings the Lightbringer back up into the action here, finishes off that Leon, and gets Oboro back under double guard. So that was essentially a Leon trade straight up in exchange for one Hilda life and one Ricky. Yeah, this season this is actually Moondoggy. Last season he lent his account to Saint-Jacques, so Saint-Jacques could play, and I'm not sure that Saint-Jacques entered the tournament this season. So this season it is Moondoggy playing on the Moondoggy account. Now, bear in mind that there's nothing really stopping Moondoggy from not going ahead with his Oboro whenever he wants here now, other than stacks. Like, he wants more stacks, so it'll be more effective, but he doesn't need to worry about ignoring guard. So if he wants a DPS, Ricky's gone. He can always just bring Oboro out whenever he wants. And that's exactly what he's going to do right now. So he sees the opportunity, he's going to take the opportunity. His target is going to be Gintoki, but Gintoki pops Defender. So massive damage reduction from his armor proc there. And that is going to kind of hurt. Oh, that wasn't even his move, though. So good. He still has his skill up. Gintoki a little bit more threatening than Grenshiel right now, because all Gren has access to is Air Slash, whereas Gintoki still has Ice Cream and his 3C. So Gintoki can output some big damage here. It would have been nice for Moon if he was able to finish it with his dragon, but hurting it is pretty good as well. Liana runs into the fog to give Gintoki his extra action here. WindSeeker definitely not holding out for a sustain game, so that Liana had served her purpose, no longer needed. Got the extra act again on Oboro before saying goodbye. And that was really just a way to get Gintoki healed up and back onto a defensive tile. Interesting. So meanwhile, WindSeeker is really going to be hoping here that his Gintoki and his Grenshiel can take one more life off one of these tanks. I think. Okay. Yeah, Moondoggy used up all his dragon attacks, all his dragon attack power, and then WindSeeker was going to be able to start chipping and bring his own dragon into the action there. So Moon, kind of hastily a little bit, but decides to throw in the towel. He figures his 2-stack dragon wasn't going to be enough to take care of 3 units, one of them being a more highly stacked dragon. So throws in the towel there, and he's going to reset his plan for Game 2. Moon being in a little bit of a rush may also be playing into this, because I think he literally only has a 1-hour window to get these games in. So he has his eye on the clock. He's got about 35 minutes left. So if he wants to win 2 games now, that might be difficult for him. Alright, as a result of that loss in Game 1, we're going to have Moondoggy as player 1 again. On Floating Courtyard, this is one of those maps that often prompts sidebox changes, so we may see Moondoggy pivot away from this uber defensive strat. For WindSeeker's side, I don't really see as much of a need for a strategy change from the sidebox. Hey Ama0, welcome to the chat. You're just in time for the very start of Game 2. And someone's clearly deliberating in the sidebox, because their time is ticking down. We don't even have a view of what... Okay, here we go, yep. And sure enough, Moondoggy goes with a huge pivot away from his ultra... Oh man, we go with like a full sidebox shift. 3 tanks gone, Ricky Oboro gone, and 4 healers gone. Instead, we've got Gintoki, Elaine, Apollyon, Archon, we got a Kirika, Joa and Connie, Lostum and Alicia are up here now, and we have Tiaris as a good DPS enabler healer. That's gonna give WindSeeker something to think about. WindSeeker, for his part, really only changed his healers out. Liana down, Sissy up. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good adjustment, Emma. I agree with that. The other interesting thing here is that this is a lot of heroes of time. We've got Elaine, Kirkia, Alicia, and Gintoki. I haven't even seen the newbie replay yet, Emma. I'll have to go check that out afterwards. Okay, so Moon banning the Awakened one first, pretty much anticipating that WindSeeker is going to go with the Rosen plus tank line, so he first picks a Grenshiel to help him deal with that tankiness. Yeah, I know what her name is. If you watch Should You Summon, you can see I respectfully call her Kirika the whole time in that video. But during my summoning video, I slipped once and called her Kirkia by accident, and I enjoyed the nickname so much that I just dedicated myself to calling her Kirkia all the time now. Okay, Moondoggy's second picking this Elaine. I mean, Moon is going to have no shortage of leggy DPS. So he's pretty much going to be looking to spring a similar kind of combo trap that WindSeeker was using in Game 1, where he'll get Grenshiel and the rest of his DPS in position. If he can lock down the tank with Grenshiel, Then he can jump the rest of his DPS in. WindSeeker opting for Lando tank. Lando is a smart tank choice here. He will buff Gintoki, Oboro, if WindSeeker is given the opportunity to get his Oboro out. Oboro actually may not be a great choice here, depending on who the rest of Moondoggy's picks are, because Moondoggy's going to be able to close the gap fairly quickly, so Obo won't really have a chance to fully charge up. And Moon is going to leave him available too. This is a rough map for Lostum, so I don't know if WindSeeker's going to go that direction. I'd say Adankelmo is probably a better choice for him here. She does have some range. Her portals are always helpful on a map like this, and her magical damage will be pretty good against... she's a good option against Grenshiel. With Wind Slash, she can take Grenshiel down. She could be good against Elaine as well. Yeah, I think Kirika and Polyol are good bans. This may be a little bit of a bluff call, too. He may not believe that Moondoggy has his Kirika fully built up. And I don't know if he does. Is it a 6-star? We'll find out, I guess. Alright, well, she's clearly not just a pick and ban bluff, since she's coming into the action here now. Alright, and WindSeeker does get his Adankelmo. He also gets his Oboro. So we'll let the players, give the players some peace while they're choosing their skills and such. Yeah, 5-star definitely enough to get started. 5-star gives her her full benefit of stacking up her mobility on range. The only difference is attack. So if it's 6-star, it should have 20%, plus 20% attack. Yeah, it could definitely be a good Kirkia map. There's also a little bit of counterplay, because this map is one where people tend to like trying to pick flyers if they can, and, well, I guess it depends on how you've gotten your Kirika built. I don't know if they all use Slayers. Yeah, Slayers and Judge. So what does Moon have to do here to crack into WindSeeker's formation? I mean, WindSeeker doesn't have any of those units who can summon additional protection for the tank's flanks. So Grenshield will have an opportunity to get in and plant the Grenshield next to that Landius. WindSeeker is going to have to be a little bit careful of his positioning in that regard. There's also the fact that Oboro doesn't get to move around once he starts transforming. So he can't come with the rest of the team to plug up gaps around Landius if he wants to protect him from the Grenshield. Welcome Avarita to the stream. Yeah, the first game was fairly quick. It was a little bit interesting though, because Ricky was in play, but WindSeeker took care of him. So you're just at the start of game 2 here, not too bad. Okay, we have a full horse Landius here. We got Gintoki with Phalanx, presumably to help protect him against this Elaine. And didn't really have to worry about Grenshield bringing unicorns here, because she wants to be flying on this map anyway. The Adankalmo does go with Windblade for some Grenshield combat, but she brought Warlocks instead of Archers. I don't know if you need Windslash and Archers to kill Grenshield. Probably not. Windslash has such a huge damage mod. Okay, so WindSeeker gonna have to watch out for the Grenshield coming in. And Moon gonna be looking for an opportunity to shut down or kill that tank. He definitely has enough DPS up his sleeve that he could just outright kill Landius. And D-Heart is able to ignore guard, obviously, but he's got some tricky targets. The Adankalmo might be a tricky target for D-Heart, because he could get counter-killed. I'm not 100% sure if Moon's build is the Bulk Heart, like, protection from magic build. There is like a Tiamat build that makes him a little bit more durable attacking into mages. Right, here's the Kirika. Attack increases by 10%, so that's only a 4-star Kirika. Yeah, if Lover, it could be a 3-star... Oh, is it a 3-star? Yeah, when I said 4-star, I meant 4-star or below. As in, definitely not 5-star. He didn't have the double range stacking. So not only did he box a 3-star Kirika, but she was left as the last bluff pick, and he actually picked her. So kudos to Moondoggy for that, giving the public what they want. We want to see the new units, we want to see weird units, and Moondoggy is throwing us a bone here. Thank you for the follow, by the way, if Lover, IF Lover. Yeah, should have, unless he's figuring he's really not going to be, unless he figures he's really not going to be getting anything out of that Kirika anyway. A euphemism for dongs. How many euphemisms does one dong need? One of my favorite dong-related anecdotes is on Twitter. Donald Glover's original Twitter handle was Don Glover, @Don Glover. Okay, so D-Heart is able to survive the counter from this Adankalmo, but unfortunately not actually able to kill it. So unfortunately, D-Heart is just way out here stranded. I mean, Adankalmo can easily finish him off now without even breaking formation. Unless Moondoggy is going to be counting on the rest of his AoEs piling in here and finishing that Annie off with chip damage. Which is going to be tricky. I mean, I guess the Rosen Seal has already acted, but who else do we have for AoE? Annie can just act from where she is and get Rosen healing. Not good enough to kill that D-Heart. Doesn't look like Elaine breezed. Do you mean pinches? Do you mean Ed Ankelmo being tanky in general, or right now? I mean, she is benefiting from Landius Aura right now as well. It could be that she's almost always benefiting from Landius Aura. Alright, we got a 3-stack Oboro up and running. This game is looking tough for Moon. WindSeeker definitely not going to be looking to open up a position for Grenshiel to get in. And interesting that we're seeing WindSeeker, who was the aggressor in Game 1, go with the slower comp here. Letting Moondoggy come to him. D-Heart is tapped for now, he can't do anything else. He's hurt, he doesn't have skills. WindSeeker's team is full, and D-Heart already knows that he whiffed on the Annie, so the D-Heart is pretty much not doing anything right now. That said, Elaine can pretty much get into the mix. Kirika has, what's this, +3 range. So Moon's plan now is going to have to be to kill through Landius. If Lando goes down, then Moondoggy has enough DPS, assuming you count Kirika, to start whittling away at WindSeeker's other units. Yeah, I mean, I guess Gintoki could leave formation to take a big bite out of this group here. It wouldn't, Gren can't reach to plant her shield there yet. Yeah, I mean, I might not leave to do it anyway. As juicy as it is, I might not leave to do it anyway, just because Moondoggy has a turn priority as well. Can she reach with AoE? I think she can just reach with AoE. I mean, she should be able to reach with, yeah. But her actual AoE skill is not going to do anything. Okay, so Moondoggy coming in, hoping for this kill on Landius here. Unfortunately for him, gets Thornsed. Which, depending on how the animations there went with soldiers dying off, may have saved Landius' first life here. Oh, but the pre-battle chip damage finishes that life off, so Elaine is going to take both lives here. That was actually kind of a close one, but with the pre-battle chip damage actually able to finish off Landius, Moon got the second life as well, as a bonus. Okay, that means WindSeeker has no more tanking available to him, so he's going to want to pick up the pace here and start killing units, if he doesn't want Moondoggy to start riding in and taking him down. The Kirika really is a liability here. Joa and Connie and D-Heart both being totally out of skills also really sucks for Moondoggy because he doesn't really have time to reset. So all he has is this Grenshiel. He is able to move her in now, because he's got Air Slash and none of these units are being guarded, but who can Grenshiel really threaten with Air Slash? Going for the Oboro. Kills the Oboro. What's the counter damage? Just takes the shield. Beautiful. Okay, WindSeeker is going to be relying on Ed Ankelmo to kill that Grenshiel, and Gintoki basically to kill the rest of these units. Okay, or not. He wants the Grenshiel dead. WindSeeker had turn priority there, so he didn't really need to worry about the Grenshiel coming in with her additional skill, though. So he could have killed other junk here, and then used turn priority to... oh no, Ed Ankelmo's skill is gone. Yep, so that was a smart move there. Ed Ankelmo wouldn't have got the kill with just a normal attack. She needed Windblade for sure. But Windblade is gone, so making sure that Gren goes down to Gintoki is smart. So the Kirika just has her main AoE left. Yeah, that is a reasonable hit for a 3-star unit. Now bear in mind, that's her like 0.6 times damage AoE, so that's going to do a lot of damage regardless. Alright, Gintoki gets the Forbidden Defender proc just to add insult to injury here. Oh wow, Connie survived that with 300 hit points. It really does look like it's going to be Gintoki time. Yeah, he's going to be Gintamaing. This D-Heart, I have to say, has been a real trooper. So he's survived so many things. He survived Annie twice, and now this regular Gintoki attack. I mean, to be fair, it's not like Phalanx are the best aggressive troop option. And he didn't use a skill. I mean, D-Heart still can't do anything this turn. Or next turn. So WindSeeker is going to hope that this Rosenseal just, like, being around is enough to give Gintoki the durability to take out the rest of these units. Yep, so he's going to reset with his D-Heart. He has time now. Basically, he can just waste another turn way back here where Gintoki can't reach him and get his skills back. So the Gintoki can reach this. Yeah. And again, greedily just attacking it without using a skill. It gets it off the board. Another Defender proc. Okay, and now this time Joa is going to be body blocking for D-Heart. Yeah, once Joa went into block, I wouldn't have sacked the Rosen to give him an act again, because he wouldn't really be able to do anything super helpful with his bonus turn. Better to keep Rosen alive and then potentially sack her this turn. And now, WindSeeker really just has to hope that his Gintoki can survive D-Heart using Strike and 3C. And Moon has to hope that his D-Heart using Strike and 3C can kill the Gintoki. Yeah, I wouldn't count. I mean, Moon might be hoping that some of these stacks are going to wear off, but I wouldn't essentially count on it because she can just run into the fog. He has a choice, though. He can run into the fog, or he can Miracle Gintoki. I don't think he can do both from this position. I'd probably go with Miracle first. I just don't see D-Heart getting through this. And then if he doesn't kill the Gin, then Gin can just chase him down. Like, D-Heart's down skills again. He'll have to go hide across the map. WindSeeker's Rosen can just heal this Gintoki back up to full and let him hunt him down. So we're going to see the Gin and then sack Rosen combo and then Gin again. If he doesn't get the kill right here. He doesn't. Gintoki, or D-Heart definitely won't be getting just a regular range attack kill on this Gin. Like you said, he'll probably proc the Forbidden Defender armor here. Nope. Doesn't matter anyway. Rosen goes into the fog. Gintoki will easily finish this off now. Lots of friendly emoting going on. Two great players. Good to see those relatively quick matches, to be honest, which works in Moondoggy's favor. Moon has somewhere to be in like 8 minutes, so I know he was hoping for no lengthy, protracted match. And with the 2-0 victory, WindSeeker advances to the top 8 in the Summit Dare Langrisser. Thank you very much to both players for giving us such an interesting game. We got to see some very cool play. We got to see Kirika, we got to see Elaine pop off, we got to see Ricky try to not pop off and get popped off instead. And yeah, thanks for both players making it this far. And congrats to WindSeeker for advancing. Thanks also to everyone in the chat for coming out and supporting your favorite players, whether it's a main chord hero or another windy hero. And thanks for supporting the stream as well. I will catch you in the next one. I'll definitely be covering a bunch of the top 8. I go on vacation again in like a week, so however much of the top 8 happens before that time, I'll see what I can cover for you. So I'll catch you in the next one, everyone. Happy Langrissing.